Hi, this is Yarrow again. Welcome to the final part of a 4-part video series on producing powerful blog content. So by now you've already got lots of key concepts, and I think hopefully you've at least got a nice foundation for what you need to do now in order to build a successful blog, at least in terms of the content side of this process. So we've covered from the first video how to create some very important key pages, and that I think is certainly the easiest section of this presentation or the series of presentations for you to grasp. There really are 3 things you need to get done there, and if you need reminding, go back to that video and watch, and then just get that done for your blog. The second video I talked a little bit more about an abstract concept called focus and not being a generalist. That's a little bit hard to understand, and I hope you took away at least the idea there that you need to find what you want from your business and your blog, and also what your audience is going to get from your business and your blog, and you, of course. And the last video, video number 3, was about pillar content, and that's a foundation study. If you don't understand that idea and implement that, you're just not going to know what good blog content is. But thankfully, it's very easy to follow. There's a few formats you can help to augment your content. Then you just have to keep testing ideas until you get those outcomes that I explained were the essence of what pillar content is, and then repeat and repeat and repeat again. In this final presentation in this series, I'm going to talk again about a slightly abstract concept, which is authenticity. Now, I've gone and grabbed a definition of authenticity from a good old dictionary website, which is, this is the definition: the quality or condition of being authentic, trustworthy, or genuine. Bet you didn't see that coming. So this ties very much back into everything I've talked about up to this point. Right back at the first video, I mentioned the idea of raising your own cult of personality. So a following of people who love your content, but love who you are as a person, and have come to respect you as a trusted resource, but also as someone they genuinely like. So the words trustworthy, authentic, and genuine, I think, are really important here when it comes to you expressing yourself through content on your blog. Now, the last video where I talked about pillar content is a little bit, it's not abstract, because the formats you use are very straightforward. They're formats, so you can apply that immediately to your content. The problem, and this is where most bloggers will fail and they don't get the pillar outcomes, is they don't produce content with substance. So in order for you to use those pillar formats and get those outcomes that we're after, you actually have to have a source of authentic content to produce real substance. Now, this ties into that area where I talked about finding your focus. Because when you do find your focus, then you start tapping into this wonderful area of pure passion, and your clarity of purpose, it just guides you so well that it becomes almost effortless to produce content of substance. And this is something that will take a bit of time for you to reach, but I want you to understand the idea here is to really tap into what you love and what you love delivering to other people, because what you're going to find, it's not just about indulging your time in a passion, it's also getting feedback and interacting with other people, because we don't just derive satisfaction from who we are as individuals. We derive satisfaction from our interactions with other people, and the same goes from blogging. So by producing such value for other people, and then those people coming to you and either directly expressing their thanks to you, or even just by purchasing your product, or emailing you with some kind of testimonial content, sometimes just a comment left to a blog post where they say, "This was a fantastic idea, thank you so much for writing it, it's changed my life." And trust me, that can happen in almost any topic. I write about business and people might say that to me, so you don't have to just necessarily be talking about self-development or religion or anything like that. You're talking about gardening and people might still say that you could potentially change their life, at least from their life with gardens anyway, but that's a different point. So the whole idea here is to become a trusted source through authentic content, and that's the only way you can ever become a trusted source. Another way to realize becoming an authority, so not only are you perceived as an authority, but your site exists on the internet as an authority, which means you get the lion's share of traffic, you get fantastic search engine rankings, you get other people approaching you with opportunities, you get people naturally just talking about what you do. You may even be invited to be on TV or radio interviews, and of course all these things lead to a greater increase in your overall exposure, which can then be transformed into money in all kinds of ways, whether it's selling your own products, selling advertising. It doesn't really matter. It becomes almost too easy to make money once you've established that authority, because at the root of that is the traffic you receive because of that authority. So when you're drawing authentic content, the natural outcome is authority, but there are certainly some steps you can take to really find the authentic content within you. Because I said this really has to come from you, and assuming you're doing all the writing for your blog, which is the whole point you're watching these videos, is to learn more about content production for yourself, is really, this is a self-development issue, and this is an area where you can improve yourself. And I've got 7 points right now to explain how you can work on producing authentic content, or at least making your content more authentic, leading to that trusted authority site status, leading to the cult of personality, and really this ties into everything I've said in the 3 prior videos to this. So let's dive into those 7 points. So number 1, I want you to draw on your expertise and deliver it with storytelling. Now, I haven't talked about storytelling much in this presentation or the previous 3 presentations, but I like the idea of storytelling because it is a very easy way to convey messages to people through blog content. And often storytelling will keep people engaged for much longer than simple presentations of facts or benefits. If you weave a story into to just explain those facts or benefits or to teach people with, you generally will encourage them to read the entire article, which, trust me, is actually a rare thing for a lot of people. Attention spans are quite weak for the average internet user nowadays with so much information. So for a person to read your entire blog article, you should consider that an achievement. So using storytelling is a great way to get that outcome. But it's even more powerful when that story is coming from a place of expertise that you personally possess. So you personally are an expert at something. Now, not everyone watching this video is going to be an expert. In fact, most people watching this probably aren't. You right now may not be, and you might be a bit worried about doing this. So all I can tell you, and this you might feel this is a little bit of a challenge, and it can be, you have to start taking some action now to become an expert at whatever it is you decide your blog topic will be about. Now, the reason why this presentation comes as number 4 in this series is because I'm hoping by now, or at least you've contemplated what you're going to focus on. I'm hoping by now that you understand you can use these formats, these pillar article formats, to produce content. And I'm hoping by now you've created those standalone pieces of content, your about page, your life story, and your articles page on your blog, because that gives you the foundation to then start distributing this authentic content through your expertise. If you've done all those things prior, then all you really need to do now is start developing your expertise if you're not already there. To do that, point number 2 and point number 3 are relevant. Point number 2 is study things to gain knowledge, and point number 3 is to do things to gain experience. So study and experience, often they go hand in hand, and usually the process is study first and then have some experience by taking action on what you learn. That's a common way to do it, and that's fine. If that's the way you work best, go for it. I mean, you're studying right now by watching this video, so the next step would be go take some action and learn something. However, some people, I'm one of these people, I will often go out and do something first before I necessarily study all the information I need. That's okay. I don't want to discourage you from doing that. So if you are a doer and you learn by making mistakes to try and figure out what works, that's fine. The important thing here is you're doing something to gain some kind of credibility and genuine understanding and insight into your topic area, your blogging industry. Now, that shouldn't be confused with the mechanics of blogging, because I've been talking a lot about the mechanics of blogging here. I haven't been talking about you going out there and learning everything you need to know about your industry, because I can't teach you that. I'm not an expert at your area. So you need to go to events, buy magazines, study trade journals, read other people's blogs, listen to podcasts, do all these things that are within the circle of your industry. And that's really important, because that will give you the content to draw upon to take action. And then once you've taken that action, you'll have the experience with which to draw upon to produce authentic content. Now, number 4, though, it's a little bit easier to do right now if you're not an expert. And I don't recommend you do this all the time, but it is an option for you as a way to produce some kind of authentic content. What I'm saying here is to filter other people's ideas through your own personal lens for your audience. So, as I said in the previous presentation, you're not looking to just simply regurgitate and be an inferior replication of someone else. But what you can do is find someone who is producing authentic content, take their idea and then restate it in your own words, and then add your own contribution to that idea, and perhaps offer some kind of advice or steps or some kind of training, or maybe just be entertaining or controversial to extend that person's idea. So you're taking other people's authentic content and making it your own authentic content by adding value. It's important there to emphasize you're adding value, so you're not just replicating or regurgitating in an inferior manner. These last 3 points, point 5, 6, and 7, are a little bit warm and fuzzy, to be honest. So there's not much practical here for you to understand, and you're going to grasp this straight away. So point number 5, I want you to be inspired. So authentic content comes when you're really passionate and you're feeling a genuine desire to explore your interest in this area. And that's what I mean by be inspired. No need to talk too much about that. You know when you're feeling inspired, when you're in that flow state, when you're writing a blog post and you're loving the experience and you just want to share this information with people. That's what it means to be inspired. Number 6, I want you to do more than everyone else. I mentioned that in pillar content. If you really want to have an effective blog content and produce pillars on a regular basis, you got to do more than everyone else. It's simple as that. That's the way you stand out from a crowd. And last point, number 7, don't be lazy. In order for you to do more than anyone else, you got to take a lot of action. So you can't be sitting on the couch watching TV. You can't be just reading everyone else's blogs. You can't be always consuming content. You have to be putting things out there. You have to be actively studying, absorbing, and then implementing to get experience, to get results, to give you that inner core of experience from which to draw the authentic content. So be inspired, do more than everyone else, and don't be lazy. And if you apply that to everything I said previously about authentic content, then you'll get amazing results. And that really is the foundation for the success of every single blog, certainly my own. My blog is a story about how I built businesses, how I have been a serial entrepreneur, what I've done to make money on the internet, and how I built a successful blog. I could not have written the content, the pillar content that I have produced on my blog if I wasn't out there every day, and this is over a period of 10 years, on the internet and in the real world, starting an English school, starting a proofreading business, starting a hobby website devoted to the card game Magic the Gathering, building my first blog, experimenting with pay-per-click advertising, studying the work of John Reese, Mike Filsaime, Frank Kern, Rich Schefren, Perry Marshall, all kinds of other bloggers, Darren Rouse, Brian Clark, John Chow. I'm actively experiencing and studying, and then returning that, filtering it and adding to it, and then taking my own authentic experience to deliver this powerful content to my readers. You need to take everything I've talked about in all 4 of these presentations, weave it all together into one consistent and congruent message to your audience, and by doing that you will build a successful blog, because ultimately the content, your ability to wow your audience and make a powerful impact on a lot of people will basically be your reason for enjoying all the benefits you're here right now for, the reason why you're watching these video presentations from me. So that's all I've got to say on this topic. If you need to, go back, watch any of these videos anytime, and good luck. It's a wonderful thing to produce content for people when you love what you're doing, and I hope that's where you can get to, and I hope these videos will help you move closer to that point. Thanks for watching. My name is Yara Stark, and I'll speak to you on a new video very soon. Bye-bye.